Oh well, good evenings. This is the second video in the copper aging machine. I have improved it slightly. As you can see, there's way more block storage now, but there's one particular flaw in design that I don't want to continue this particular design. As you can see, we place one block, then the machine will place 5 blocks by itself. We are placing powdered snow because powdered snow can be dispensed using dispenser and can also be pushed, surprisingly. And then we are using extensions to extend piston push limit to go around the piston push limit using slime blocks just like this. It's pretty good, but the flaw in the design is there's a lot of manual work at the end when you would want to go and farm your copper. Like, machine is designed in a way. Yeah, like I was saying, the machine is designed in a way that you can stand in particular spot and keep mining down. Like if I didn't did any mistakes, no, I did some mistake here. And this is the problem when you're going to mine, then there's always chance that you might mine out some important part of the machine. In this case, I managed to mine out a piston, which was over here. So I'll remove this bit of part and continue. Hopefully I didn't remove anything else. Yeah, the problem with the machine is there's a lot of manual work at the end. Like the copper blocks are placed in a way that you can always mine down and you'll be meet the second next copper and next copper, then you'll take it out. But the problem lies in collecting all the powdered snow back. I wanted to do a flying machine, but as you can see in this particular block storage, we have like 6 per layer copper blocks, and there would be at least 5 flying machines just for one plane. And if I want to make this 3D, then be a lot more flying machines, and it would be quite bad, especially on the Bedrock edition when these pistons are quite laggy. So that's why I decided to not continue the design. It takes quite a lot of time to make it, and then you have to also waste a lot of time mining out the blocks and just filling it out. Then I'll tell you how it really works, the magic tricks that I used. Nearly there. And the machine is full. Like the amount of powdered snow I have on those 3 double chests, it will only give you about like 47 oxidized copper, which isn't good. And then you have to go after every copper block yourself and mine it out. So that's why I didn't want to continue this design. You also have to collect all the powdered snow, and there's a lot of powdered snow. The other way around is to use a flying machine, but for this one line you require like 5 flying machines. Let's understand how this works. We have the observer over here. We are using locking repeater technique to block the second pulse from the observer. That's when the piston will restack and the observer will observe it again. Then we pass that signal to this pulse extender. This pulse extender is being observed by this observer, and surprisingly this pulse extender gives out 10 signals if you're going to observe it with observer, which is 2 times too much. So we reduce those amount of pulses using this sticky piston. It fires every 0.2 seconds, so we can get rid of 5 of those pulses. Then we directly power the dropper, and then 1 second later, 0.1 second later, we fire the piston. The pulse extender is also being observed by this observer, which pulse extends this part, which locks this repeater. So when we are placing snow blocks, this piston will not fire automatically because of the observer watching it. It's kind of cool. Now, as we're using powdered snow, it also creates buckets, so you require an item sorter, and then you have to use all those buckets to get your powdered snow back. It's a lot of manual work, so I wanted to make it slightly more automatic. I will show you in a bit slightly more automated version. It looks a bit scary, but it's not. It's just repeating part, just like that machine, and it's designed for flying machines. It's not complete at the moment. I can only place coppers every 5 block, but the collecting part isn't done yet. I'm working on it. So imagine if you place 12 copper blocks one by one, and then you press this funny button. Then this machine goes around and it places all the coppers 6 blocks apart, 5 block difference. That maximizes the oxidization speed. This, as you can see, every first copper in the copper row is being selected by the machine. Then that is being selected. Then that will be selected. We have 3 more left. There's about 12, and this machine is quite long, so that is a bit problematic if you're playing on simulation distance of 4. Yeah, the flying machine will get stuck in simulation distance 4, but in 6 and 8 I think it's completely fine. This is the reassembling type flying machine, so we can easily push it and send it back. Now imagine that I also completed the collection system. We have this red wire going along. We're going to power it, so the lower sticky piston also gets powered, and then we are going to restart all the latches. That will push out the block. Now what we need to do is pull this all blocks by one more, so this piston could push them back into position. This flying machine has only one part, which is manual, and that's the pressing button, but that can also be automated if we put a timer. But I don't think, like, you'll probably move around if you'll create this monstrosity. Then you'll probably not sit in one spot. You'll probably move around and leave the machine entirely until it's oxidized, and only later you will press button so it will call back all the copper. So at the moment my plan is to put honey blocks at the bottom of every copper. Only problematic part would be here, but I can solve that. And then we can pull the blocks by one and use piston to put all of the blocks back. I'll undo the reset for latches, and then I'll call the flying machine back. I'll also unpower all the sticky pistons at the bottom. And now I have to do the manual part here, because there are 2 extension part where the machine grabs. It doesn't require latches, as the 12 blocks you're going to place are directly in the path of the double piston extenders. So I'll reset this, and then I'll get back to what I was talking about. Yeah, so now we have the flying machine. Imagine all the blocks are. I'm going to push it. This one is quite simple. 2-way flying machine. They are generally used for awful sugarcane farms. I mean, they're not awful, I just don't like the concept of only using flying machine as sweepers in Bedrock Edition. In Java Edition they're used for way more stuff, but that's mainly because Java Edition has way more stuff to play with than Bedrock. But in Bedrock you can also make flying machines that are somewhat useful. Like my giant brown mushroom block farm is a pretty good example of it. Now what we can do to make it slightly simple is to move the piston, the standard piston at the back of the flying machine, by 1 block to the right, but that would require me to use an observer, and that will increase the length of the machine. I mean, in terms of height it will increase. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it as slim as possible. Now I'm going to remove all the copper, and I'll redo just for the fun of it. I'll relaunch the flying machine just for the fun of it. Imagine all of this copper wasn't here. Suspend your disbelief. And here's that 4 simulation chunk problem. The last part of redstone didn't get updated. Place the 12 copper blocks and let's fire the machine. It's pretty cool. I'm using the observer. As you can see, the white concrete bit at the bottom is also getting powered by the observer. Like here's a latch and the redstone bit, and it changed. Here's latch. The machine stopped. Oh, I didn't remove the redstone block on the red concrete bit. Yep. Stupid on me. Well, this flying machine is made to be as simple as possible, so I'll just remove a few of the copper blocks from here and launch the flying machine. Now all the maintenance is done. It's a lot simple. If I can finish the returning part, then this segment can be created multiple times, but it's a lot of effort. I don't really know if anyone is going to put that much. I was trying to do it with timers, but that was quite bad idea, as it took even more comparators, and comparators like barely used in this, and it's already quite big.